Chancellor, today I'm delighted to welcome as guest speaker Professor Ron Borland. Ron is currently the Nigel Gray Distinguished Fellow in Cancer Prevention at the Cancer Council Victoria. He is also a Professorial Fellow in the School of Population Health and the Department of Information Systems at the University of Melbourne. Ron's past research has contributed to the development of improvement of mass media-based public education campaigns for tobacco control. His work has also contributed to the implementation of better health warnings on tobacco packaging and to demonstrating the benefits to smokers and non-smokers of a smoke-free policies. Ron's current research includes work in 4 areas important in social efforts to end tobacco use: the evaluation of tobacco control policies, policy development to reduce tobacco use, understanding tobacco use as societal and individual levels, and cognitive behaviour interventions to assist smoking cessation. Ron is one of the 3 chief principal investigators on the International Tobacco Control Policy Evaluation Study, a large survey of smokers active in 20 countries. It is a pleasure to call on him today. Please join me in welcoming Professor Ron Borland.
Thank you. I'm deeply honoured to be given the opportunity to make this address. And first of all, I would like to congratulate the graduates on their great work. I've had the great fortune to spend the last 30-odd years of my life working at the Cancer Council of Victoria on its efforts to prevent cancer. The Cancer Council has been a world leader in adopting systematic inquiry to the challenges of health behaviour change. I'm proud to have made some small contribution to that effort. Put simply, the strategy we've used is about finding ways to help us act in ways we decide are in our best interests, even in the face of immediate desires to do otherwise. I've spent much of this time trying to understand and facilitate the development of interventions to help people successfully quit smoking, as the Chancellor said. In many respects, the challenges smokers face are very similar to the ones that all of us face in our day-to-day lives, of overcoming the desires of the moment to pursue what we know to be in our long-term interests. From studying when we prefer to be playing, through failing to schedule enough exercise in our lives, and I believe similar principles can be applied when we're working on social issues such as changing the way we behave to save our planet. While we have often succeeded in helping people change in our work, we've had our failures too. Using a scientific, systematic approach doesn't guarantee success, but fortunately, it's extremely good at helping us to learn from our mistakes, and failure can sometimes be the midwife of the next success. Helping people to have a greater control over their own behaviour requires much more than helping people work out what's in their best interests. It involves helping people find stories to help make sense of their lives and the problems they face, including through providing graphic depictions of the harms on packs or in the media. It involves considering laws and other forms of regulation that can be used to help create a society that facilitates what is desirable and makes the undesirable a little bit harder. It requires an understanding of incentives and economic principles and how they can be applied to nudge people to make the best possible choices. It can involve new technologies from pharmaceuticals to the internet to help individuals. But it has to be more than a galaxy of forces and resources. The value of the scientific approach, it also requires, an understanding of the different ways people respond to the world as a result of both their temperament and their life experiences, especially the impacts of various forms of disadvantage. Some will require extra resources to do what others can do easily. The value of the scientific approach is one key learning from my experiences. A second is the importance of affect or emotion as the driving force for behaviour. Our emotions are evolution's way of telling our intellect as to how we're going. However, with complex and novel problems, they can lead us astray. But they are what drives behaviour, We need to listen to our feelings, but not allow them to be our masters. Unfortunately, understanding this has led many to think that all we need to do is create emotional salience and behaviour will follow. Advertisers, politicians and other spruikers have become adept at tapping our emotions, but many of them seem less adept or less willing to help us evaluate the true worth of what they are trying to sell us. In our attempts to change ourselves or change aspects of the world, we need to start by thinking dispassionately about what we want to do and how we are going to do it, and then acting passionately to achieve those goals. Unfortunately, this is not as easy as it sounds, particularly for the things we are dependent on, cigarettes in the case of smoking, and our planet in the case of humanity. We can only do our best, however, hopefully we can use our learning to make our best even better. Thank you, and congratulations again to the graduates.